In this session, we're going to be looking at developing the log frame matrix. Before you start to carry out your exercise, where you will be using your objective tree to populate and develop the log frame, I want us to remind ourselves of the logic of the log frame and what the log frame matrix you'll be populating looks like. You have seen this diagram in an earlier session, because this is the logic of the log frame. If you carry out activities, they will deliver your output or result. The outputs will deliver the outcome, and the outcome will contribute to the impact. If you find that your outputs will not deliver your outcome, then you need to think again, because the logic is not correct. The logic of the log frame is each level should contribute to the next level. So level 4 will contribute to level 3, level 3 to level 2, the outcome. If this does not happen, then the logic is incorrect and you need to think again. In simple terms, the log frame matrix looks like this. It has a column for the project summary, which is what you'll be dealing with next. The next column is about indicators, how you measure your progress. Then there's a source of verification and assumptions. In reality, it's a bit more complex, as you can see by the sheet here, which we have given you as an independent web link, so you can look at it in more detail when you're working on it and actually populating it. So to start to develop the log frame, you first start by defining the impact. We've agreed that this should be reduction in maternal and neonatal mortality in Sahara. Next, you would discuss your outcome, which states what you would like to achieve in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, this duration will depend on project funding, which is often 5 years at the most. To make this exercise easier, we've agreed on an outcome. This allows you to then focus on the outputs. And the outcome will be increased use of quality skilled birth attendance by pregnant women in Sahara. It's up to you how you decide to whether this is regional or national. So you will now redefine the objectives from your objective tree as outputs. First they were problems, then the objectives. Now they are going to be defined as outputs. The outputs are the main things that need to be delivered by the project to achieve the outcome and contribute to the impact. This information is then all placed into the log frame matrix. Now, defining outputs. Output language. A common mistake is that often the output is actually an activity. For example, 20 nurses trained as skilled birth attendants is not an output, it is an activity. Why do I say that? Because you are training. Training is an activity. The question you ask yourself, if we train, which is an activity, 20 nurses as skilled birth attendants, what will you achieve? What will be achieved? What will be the output of the training? It could be increased number of nurses providing quality antenatal care services, or increased number of women attending antenatal care. You need to be clear what output you require from your activity. Finally, once you have defined your outputs, please carefully review and make sure that they are outputs. To remind you, an activity describes what you will do. An output defines what will be achieved after you carry out the activity.